Oregon farmers, who grow 60% of the world's carrot seed, have been without irrigation water for weeks as drought ravages the American West. But just 20 miles down the road, sprinklers douse crops and cattle graze in green pastures. American West arcane water law, first in time, first in line, means some farmers still have plentiful water, while others have none. A reservoir with desperately low levels of water. In Oregon, landscapes turned into ragged dirt lines, empty irrigation canals, dust devils and tumbleweeds.
Basically, we're in a severe drought. The natural flow in the Deschutes right now is less than anybody's ever seen it.
To the south, across an invisible line separating Fine's irrigation district from the next, it's another world. Automated sprinklers hiss as they douse crops. Cattle munch on green grass and water bubbles through verdant farm field.
Now keep in mind, we said that a month ago, we said that 2 months ago, we said that 2 weeks ago. It keeps going down.
Machines harvesting carrot seeds are creating a dust trail because the soil is very dry.
So North Unity Irrigation District is the junior district in the Deschutes Basin and basically in Central Oregon. So what that means is when it comes to the water, especially natural flow, we're last in line because we're last in time.
In this fertile swath of Oregon, where 6 irrigation districts rely on the Deschutes River, the consequences of the strict hierarchy dictated by the American West's arcane water law, first in time, first in right, have never been more obvious. As catastrophic drought ravages the West, the irrigation districts with water claims that date back more than a century only have had to modestly reduce water use, while districts just up the road with more recent claims have been cut off entirely. A law which leads to severe consequences.
We had to shut down because we had no more water.
A sharp contrast with other farmers higher up in the irrigation chain.
This farm's in Central Oregon Irrigation District, which has senior water rights.
Lesignally is aware of the inequality of the situation in Oregon.
I feel extremely fortunate in my situation because we have had adequate water here, but being able to farm up on the North Unit Irrigation District, I also feel the burn and how it's hurt us up there as far as what we can and can't do. All my crops up there were diminished as far as the tonnage and yield and quality because we had the water shut off so early.
After 3 years of punishing drought, this unequal irrigation system has brought new urgency to controversial proposals that would allow farmers with excess water to lease some or all of their share to those in need regardless of what irrigation district they are in. But the concept is fraught with challenges, risks and resistance. While there are some success stories, larger scale efforts to spread water more equitably among agricultural producers have often foundered. An informal attempt at water sharing this summer was a bust, a sign that many in this parched river basin aren't ready for such change. Against this backdrop, the non-profit Deschutes River Conservancy and the Central Oregon Irrigation District, which has some of the most senior water rights, are studying the feasibility of market-driven incentives.
We just want to be able to move water around more flexibly on a voluntary incentive-based basis. So if somebody wants to use less water in Central Oregon Irrigation District, for example, they should have an easier time letting North Unit Irrigation District or other junior districts pick up that water.
For Fine, this could at least represent a short-term solution.
The water marketing and leasing is just one of those tools, but it's something we can do now. Doesn't come at a huge cost, doesn't take in a lot of infrastructure, and it's something we can do now. And in North Unit especially, if we don't do something soon. We can't keep going on like this.
This so-called water bank is part of a larger dialogue across the West about how to let the free market play a bigger role in water conservation and water sharing, as human-caused climate change fuels drought and farmers from Colorado to California run out of options.
We can find those win-win solutions. I believe that the Deschutes can be a model for the West as the West faces increasing drought and scarcity and population growth and all of that.
But for now, farmers in irrigation districts with lower water priority are just trying to hang up with few immediate alternatives in sight.
5 or 10 acre feet really isn't going to do much, but if we can get that number up to where it does make a difference, then every little bit helps.
An informal call for patrons with senior water rights to send water to their less fortunate neighbours this summer, for example, landed with a thud when only a handful of people stepped forward due to the bureaucracy involved. For now, farmers in irrigation districts with lower water seniority are just trying to hang up, with few alternatives in sight. After a third year of crippling drought, even a drenching winter won't rescue their fields. Now the very question arises that if the drought has ravaged the area yielding 60% of the world's carrot, is this an indication towards a shortage of carrots tomorrow?